All right, I gotta see this. Apparently, Pragmata is making a bunch of people lose their minds because, like, I guess there are some guys or so that want to have, you know, a child now. Like, apparently Pragmata is like awakening guys, like, you know, like what is it, the maternal clock or the internal clock for guys or so to become a father now. And we're gonna have the new baby boom now. Apparently, some of them are like losing their minds. Apparently, because I don't know.
Hey, what's up guys, Riff here. So in this video, I'm once again talking about the game Pragmata, which is causing a lot of discussion.
Well, I already want to be a mom. I've said this even before the game came out. So I think I've said this since like almost like, I think maybe like the middle of last year or like the end of last year.
On social media, this discussion has included a lot of crash outs that we'll see in this video
Can
as
I see
well.
the crash outs?
There's
I'd be
also a
very
lot of
curious what the
people
crash outs
enjoying
are.
this game, and the proof is in the numbers. In fact,
I do wanna play this
Pragmata
game,
has now
though.
sold over 1 million units
But that'll be later,
in
though.
the
Not right
first
now. Too
2 days
expensive.
of its release
'Cause
alone.
I'm playing
And
indie
for those
games
who are
right
not
now.
familiar, this is a game focusing on a spacefarer named
It's a
Hugh
psyop for
and his
men to have
android
kids.
companion Diana.
Well, at the end of the day, you know, the birth rate is declining. But the problem is, the reason why it's declining or so, it's because, well, the economy is pretty shit overall. So I'm like, can you blame them at the end of the day?
Fighting off a AI that is trying to take over their space station as they're trying to return to Earth. This game has overwhelmingly positive reception, and a lot of people are looking at the dynamic of this game between Hugh and Diana, a sort of father and daughter wholesome relationship, and it's sparking something wholesome in them, a need to protect. Some people even feeling inspired to become parents themselves. Something truly beautiful. But as this quote points out, this is also sparked a lot of...
This game is dragging out the innate dad instincts of every male gamer and it's driving fatherless people into fits of rage.
Anger from projecting miserable people on social media. This game...
it's because those people who are miserable on social media is because their life is miserable and they always doom scroll on Twitter. Well, for me specifically, I love to scroll on Twitter because I get an amalgamation of like random funny Japanese memes, from, you know, other places as well. I get Japanese food sometimes. Sometimes I just get food from America as well. I'll get Japanese scenery. I'll get Japanese cosplayers. Sometimes some NSFW stuff, you know, beautiful women and whatnot from Japan or whatever, or Korea or just Eastern Asian, just overall. Drawings as well, beautiful art pieces actually, to be frankly honest. I get quite a few of them. Some hot guys who cosplay as well. I also get that too on my timeline feed. Sometimes some nostalgia stuff that pops up from time to time for music. For some random pair of reasons, I kept getting the Avatar movie because the Avatar movie kept getting spammed all over Twitter. That was also a thing too as well. Some video game memes. From time to time, like it's very smaller, so maybe I'll get like a random VTuber that pops up on my timeline feed from time to time. There's like very few in between, but it's mostly like Japan and like America like interacting with each other. Oh yeah, sometimes I get some gunpla stuff. I get some Yu-Gi-Oh things. I get how Japan loves like big guns or so. Because they like to share like the American people or so, like they had like these big ass guns and they're like small people or so. And then like the Americans, like I look in the comment section specifically, the Americans are like, yes, we do, we love this shit. So it's kind of funny to be seeing like America and Japan just kind of like, you know, just loving each other so much or so. They're just kind of like, oh, that's so cute.
And your reaction to it has become a litmus test of who you are as a person. Because on the one hand, people are seeing this and they think it's very wholesome and fun.
It sounds like my algo without the Yu-Gi-Oh. My algo is like an amalgamation. This time around, it's mostly like because I want to look for some memes or so for this time around. But my algorithm right now is cosplayers, sexy women, and some NSFW stuff. That's kind of like about it. But then there are some days that just shows like a shit ton of memes.
Demonize this game and anything that has to do with the concept of a happy family. Once again,
on my timeline
you are
feed.
seeing evil looking at something wholesome and
She's
pure
so cute, though.
and trying to destroy it. And you know who's really mad about this concept?
I wonder who's gonna name their daughter
Hasan
Diana
Piker. Hasan Piker saw the concepts of a happy family and really just wholesomeness, and he is crashing out. He is projecting
This guy's crashing
so
out?
hard, and it seems very personal, as we'll see.
Oh,
but
geez.
of course he's mad. Okay, this game features not only a fun experience, something that Hassan is allergic to, but also it has that wholesome relationship, and as you can see, the numbers are panning out.
Problem is that the game kind of dropped at a wrong time for me.
Overwhelmingly positive rating on Steam, and a ton of players
I would totally
are enjoying
love to play
this
this
right
game.
now. And a lot of it has
for
to
me, I
do
wanna have 3 or 4
with the
kids.
character Diana. A lot of people are looking at this character and they think she is adorable, and they think the relationship between her and Hugh is something very positive and wholesome.
Oh, that's so
In fact,
cute.
it is considered by many as a psyop by the Japanese to make people want to have more kids and to grow their families. And, well, on the Japanese side of Twitter, we're seeing just that.
Western Twatter, Pragmata is pedo-coded and the Japanese are pedos. Meanwhile, the Japanese... This is way too cute. Dude, seriously, getting all hyped over just one slide, man. What is this? An unfamiliar feeling. If I had a daughter, would it feel like this? Yes, it would. It would actually feel like this. What is this? It's dangerous. It stimulates a fatherly instinct that never even existed, and I feel like I might end up satisfied somehow. My long depleted fatherly instinct suddenly surged through my entire body. The Japanese side, I swear.
Right? We're seeing a lot of wholesome reactions.
That's funny.
People
I love the Japanese
saying stuff
side.
like asking if you have kids, is this what it's like every day?
Though,
and
the
some people are saying,
pop
yeah,
up on my
it's like this
timeline
every
feed from
day.
time to time.
It's fun. And then people saying it's stimulating a fatherly instinct that
It's
never
cute.
existed before, and it feels like
No,
they might...
I think it was there. No, the fatherly instinct is there, but they never saw it in this kind of specific limelight, you know?
want to have kids now, you know, all these wholesome things, and then there's this, you know, artwork like this that is wholesome and funny. You know, you have the android trying to confirm that they are in fact not a robot, not working out well. But on the Western side of things are very toxic, and
only the
many
Western
such
side,
cases. This has been the reaction. I talked about all of these examples in my previous video that I uploaded earlier today.
Fans accuse
people
Capcom
trying to
Twitch
demonize this game.
Fans accuse Capcom Twitch badge for Pragmata for referencing a pedo meme. I feel like it's a breach of ethics at this point to design child characters for an audience of majority of male gamers. They made CP of her. They had to be banned on Reddit. It's kind of evil how Marathon gets called a flop for doing these numbers, but Pragmata doesn't because pedophiles, right-wingers wanna F the robot child? What the hell? It's this, the icon next to me, next to my name. It did this. How do you even get that, actually? I don't even know how you get that. That's cute, though. That's a pretty cute badge. That's so weird, though, I'll be honest with you. These are just people who are just miserable in their entire life. That literally, like, no one wants to have a relationship with them because they have an ugly personality. And they don't even want to make family with them because they just have a very nasty mood to them, so...
And the character Diana.
That's the reason why.
Not
Just
only
nobody wants to even. I'm like, your name is called Ghoul Hag for a reason because you're a ghoul.
By the way, is not sexualized in any way in this game, but they're also demonizing people who are enjoying this game or find it wholesome,
they get no dick in their life, you know,
replicate
pussy,
such a wholesome dynamic in real life. They are demonizing them, calling them predators.
They have like
among many
zero
other
relationship
things.
life.
It is insane levels of projection and just morbid behavior.
So weird for people to be projecting.
And you know, you have people asking related questions. You know, people are stunned at how Capcom just released the most adorable game in history, hoping for more dad simulator games. And how are people so mad about this? Well, ask yourself, who is mad? It's people on the Western side of Twitter. And you have to keep in mind, these are the same people who are frothing at the mouth over this Japanese anime ad for
Imagine getting mad at an
McDonald's
animation
featuring a
or so of a
happy
family
family.
eating
Like, people were
McDonald's.
getting actual threats on them over this. People were literally tearing their hair out in anger over a wholesome family dynamic, because
They
apparently
always like
that
to do
is
it every
so
single time.
devoid from our media.
When they see a child having fun with like their parents and everything like that, it's probably because they never had a childhood where their family loved them. So then when they grew up or so, they start hating other people who have a better family life compared to them. That's the only reason why. Like, straight up, this is just literally just self-projection overall. Like, honestly, like, yeah, I never had a good, like, I had a somewhat okay child life or so. Poor, it was a poor child life, right? But I never self-project on anything, because I see something like this or so, and it makes me want to have a family, and I want to give my kids what I didn't have. You know, I want to give them the best life that I wanted to have, but then, you know, I get to share it with them specifically.
These days, traditional happy families,
So
happy
the cycle doesn't
relationships
repeat
between
itself,
parents
you
and
know?
children, that it makes these
It's
psychopaths,
called
these
breaking the
fatherless
cycle for a
psychopaths,
reason.
crash out on Twitter. And man, I wonder who's really upset about this game, Pragmata, and all the tropes contained within it. Hassan. Hassan has been on
What
a
did Hassan
total
have to do with
crash out.
anything?
He saw Pragmata and the reaction to it, the positive reaction, and he joined the mob that is angry about it. Just listen to his reaction.
In one emotional moment, she gives him a crayon drawing of the two of them together as a little family. Even streamers who say at the start they didn't want kids end up breaking down happy in tears. So what's really interesting about this is all of these unfuckable losers in the gaming sphere always talk about like starting families and stuff. And I don't understand like why this has become a thing that they care about. Like, if you're a gamer, you should care about things that you actually experience. You should care about things that you actually enjoy, right? If you're
Yeah, they enjoy playing this game, and then they saw how they bonded together with a father and daughter, because you're playing as the role of the guy or so in the video game, and you get to kind of basically have this kind of father-daughter relationship with one another in the video game, and you go through this entire story or so building upon the relationship, and then you, like, that maternal instinct inside of you begins to turn on, or so that you want the same thing as well. So that's all I gotta say. Just because you don't want a kid or so doesn't mean other people don't want to have kids, man. Okay? The problem is that America has been completely fucked or so. Literally, America itself, the whole Western, well, I'm just gonna say the whole Western ideology, to be honest. The whole Western fucking community. I'm sorry if I gotta put everybody under the same umbrella or so, but I'm gonna have to call it or so. Because you guys can't seem to control those people. You should have bullied those people to the corner, in my personal opinion. Literally, those people are the ones who spoke out the most and killed off, you know, masculinity, killed off like men being like, you know, being like gentlemanly, you know, being gentlemen to women or so, and all this other shit in general. On top of that, like the women in general just like killed off like overall the whole, you know, the guy stuff. And now of course, like, you know, some women are regretting it or so of what happened or so, because they wanted to be, you know, self-independent and all this other shit, you know. And honestly, this is basically is what happened to this point, and well, it's fucking dead. And now, you know, now they want to have kids and everything. Well, it's like, well, it's fucking too late, you know. It's fucking too late. So I'm like, that's your fault at the end of the day. You did this to you guys yourself, you know. While where I live specifically, we don't have any of these fucking issues, to be frankly honest. Like, masculinity isn't dead or so. We still like praise or so for like very handsome muscular men, or who are gentlemanly, you know, or just nice overall, or anything like that. We don't have any issues like that whatsoever. But American Western ideology, you know, still has that, which is kind of crazy.
lonely gamer
They fucking
who
kill
has
that
never
shit
been around a
pretty
woman and will
fast.
never have sex with a woman. Why do you care? Like, why do you
I don't
care
have
about
you at the end of the day. I'm like, you're always streaming 24/7. When do you have sex?
having children, or like riding for having children? Like, if they changed,
Also, you can't even have sex either, because if I remember correctly, I'm like, isn't your pee-pee small?
hot Cheetos, if they changed the recipe of hot Cheetos, if they changed the recipe of like, I don't know, Dr. Pepper or something, and you fucking freaked out about that. That makes sense,
I
right?
like it how he's talking about Dr. Pepper, and the only person who likes Dr. Pepper so much isn't it Asmongold? Doesn't Asmongold just love Dr. Peppers? I just love it how he still keeps freaking talking about Asmongold to this day. Even though like at least he's the only guy that drinks the most Dr. Pepper out of anybody I've ever seen in the entire world. Like, honestly.
Like, that's precisely what your life is about. But as far as like LARPing about starting families and whatnot, this is something that I never understand. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
You don't understand it because you don't have that instinct or so, and you never had someone who actually wants to have kids with you to begin with. I'm just saying. I'm just gonna put it out there, to be frankly honest. You know, you just never had someone who actually wants to have a family with you. So because I get it, your persona is just so nasty. Like, the persona that you portray online is so nasty that nobody really wants to do it, to be honest, because you have such a crazy and rabid community as well. If the partner disagrees with you in any shape, way, or form, the community would probably start attacking the girlfriend to begin with. So
because it's just not something that you're going to experience ever for your life, for the rest of your life, right?
I think they have a more bigger odds chance of them getting into a relationship and having a family compared to you, because you just have a very nasty attitude, especially for your online persona. Just has a very nasty view on things, and also your community is also just a nasty community in general too, as well. So.
Dude is so miserable. This is one of the most miserable human beings I have ever encountered in my life. Let's be honest with ourselves.
It's fine
here.
if he wants to be
like,
miserable.
This guy
for the
is
rest of
almost
his life.
40 years old, and I don't say that
That's
like
none of my problem.
how many people do. Like, he's pushing 40, like he's ancient, but like you are getting into the later stages of life, and it's clear Hassan has this very worldly view of life. He wants to live for the world. He wants to live for numbers on social media. He wants to live for attention, and he wants to live for luxury and all those things. This is not the guy you look to develop something that is going to be a lasting legacy, like a family, you know, like children, like something that will live beyond you. Hassan lives for himself. So this idea of a happy family, especially a father and child being presented, of course he is going to crash out and have an absolute meltdown over the idea. This is just expected. And it's so funny seeing him go off about all these incels.
There is a saying or so: all the money in the world does not make you happy. It make you financially stable, but it doesn't actually make you happy. As someone who is not rich or so, or never has been rich, I'm living a pretty good life, to be honest.
And these losers who are not engaging in intercourse in any sort of a way. This is the guy who famously went to a brothel, presumably to pay for intercourse. Like, this guy, despite his looks, his wealth, his success, still has to pay for women. Like, that is tragically embarrassing. And he's just an overall miserable person. Like, why would he want to have a happy family? He's not even happy with his dog. He shocks his dog.
The only reason why I want to be rich is to make a game studio and make animation and have that voice acting studio within the video game studio in the same building, just to be able to make some killer video games for the community, for gaming in general. So
he can't even get along with a dog who literally just sits there for 8 hours a day.
That's the only reason why I want to be rich.
That's too frustrating for him to deal with. So seeing a happy family, of course he doesn't want that.
To return
he's
back
all about
to
his
everybody
career.
who has invested their
and
time
there's
and
another
their money
reason why
towards
he's
me
so upset about this.
to return back in bigger
There's
fold.
a very clear reason.
And make
it's
you guys
because of
be
his
proud.
girlfriend, Valkyrae. Yeah, for those who don't know, this is his girlfriend, a very popular streamer. Now, of course, their relationship is one that is hidden because these two like to continue to convince their audience that they're available. They want their audience to think that they're single, that they have a chance with either Valkyrae or Hassan.
It's because I want to make stuff. That's why.
You know, it's your life, your choices. But I will say this, it's pathetic, okay? I love my wife, famously, okay? You can see it in the leaflet put them in the box video, okay? It was even featured
Put them in the box,
there,
please?
okay?
Wait, what?
I will shout from the rooftops that I love my wife, unashamedly.
That's cute.
And yet Hassan, he has to find a hideout. We are different, ladies and gentlemen. We are a different breed.
Quasar.
But going back to Valkyrae, yeah, there's a reason why this stings extra for Hassan, because Valkyrae has expressed publicly that she has no intention of having children.
I've gotten over it. I'm probably never having kids. It is what it is. I'm probably going to play video games for the rest of my life. I'm probably going to be as hot for as long as I can. And
Be as hot as long as I can. Sounds like someone who's really farming those guys who are very lonely or so. It's like, oh, I'm just gonna farm the guys or so because I'm hot or so, and I'm just gonna keep doing it until I'm not hot anymore. But even then, by then or so, these suckers already gave me their money anyway, so.
and I'm probably going to keep making money in the best ways I can, which is like doing commercials and shows. Like that's probably what's going to happen for the next like 40 years until I die. And I think people are just going to keep being mad at me about it. It is what it is. I don't know, man.
The tragedy of modern feminism, ladies and gentlemen, convincing women like
The
Valkyrae.
sad thing about it is that a lot of these women or so are from California, and I feel like, I'm gonna be honest with you, as someone who doesn't know that much about California, I think California was a mistake, in my personal opinion. It definitely was a mistake.
That hustling and grinding and your career is more important than having a family. Look what happens. Imagine hearing your girlfriend saying that she never wants to have children. You're just stuck there, that she's married to the career basically, and also has to basically hide you in the background because, well, the money's more important than being proud of who you're with in terms of a relationship. Absolutely brutal. And then you add in the time factor here. Oh.
She's 34 years old?
This is just
Damn.
an observation, ladies
She's
and gentlemen.
50 in
There
internet
is a
times.
time lapse here. There is a clock running. In fact, this meme has been used many times when referring to Valkyrae, and she does not like it, not one bit.
That's pretty funny.
Bro, like, you post a selfie, like a girl posts a selfie, if I do, and one of those incel accounts will post my photo with like a dumbass, like the rabbit with the clock, and be like, Cinna's eggs are gonna dry out before she ever starts a family. Do you consider this success? And then people respond and like hate on it, like bot accounts will to bump the interaction.
I mean, what else do you use to describe this situation?
TikTok.
It is literally
TikTok.
the embodiment of this meme. It's right in front of us, ladies and gentlemen, and of course,
the best part about it is that me and my family or so, we have the best like kind of like genetics or so that we can have kids even to like way later in our life. So
back to Asmongold. Asmongold recently has been talking about traditional marriages and traditional families, and that
later.
one day he hopes to have one, even if he feels like he may not be able to do it, but it's something he desires. And I guess,
like, oh yeah, no, you're
well,
fine. You still
maybe
have so
this is
many
having
centuries to
an
go.
extra impression on Hassan recently.
I'm like,
He wants
oh,
to
okay.
always be
All right, I don't
the
gotta worry
polar
about anything
opposite.
then.
Who knows? But the one thing I do know is that the crash outs and the weird comments about Pragmata have continued. People are making insane claims like this, saying, I don't like the way you guys talk about children like they aren't toys.
What the
Referring to someone seeing this game and its wholesomeness and basically saying, I want to start a family myself. Well, there's a proposed note because we're not talking about anything real. This is a video game. Okay, so
damn, people
this
are
is
crashing
literally
out over a video game,
not
aren't they,
a human. This is
Tell me something
a game,
new.
and people are seeing a dynamic in a fictional setting and saying, wow, wouldn't that be very fulfilling in real life? So when they're talking about Diana, they're talking about Diana the character, not a human being. So the fact that you don't know the difference is very odd. Then you have people again
That's so cute.
projecting.
Look at her dancing.
All that's happening here is a fully clothed Diana is dancing, and this projecting weirdo says, this character design creeps me out. Why does she look like a doll? Why is this blonde child with a blowout running around barefoot? I have not yet played the game. Is this expanded on in the plot, or is it just to be eye candy for creeps?
What a weirdo.
Again,
like honestly, this is the only reason why. So when I bring back the lolly like conversation and everything, it's just literally just them self-projecting. Like just it's just straight up just self-projection or so. This is all weird self-projection. It's so weird, dude. Man, some of these people need to literally like log off the internet and go touch grass at this point, you know? I think people who literally say these things online should get internet revoked until they understand the difference of like fiction and nonfiction, and then they can come back on the internet. Until then or so, their internet will be completely cut off forever, and they can't sign up to any other internet provider. They should be just blacklisted from internet.
Very weird projection right here. It seems like you're making some very weird observations about something that is completely wholesome. And also, like, I'm not even gonna say it, but like if you're making these observations and jumping to some sort of thought in your mind, I think again you are projecting. You're just telling on yourself at this point. Then we have essays like this talking about childless men and how they do not have paternal instincts the way childless women have maternal instincts.
What the fuck?
You know what? I'm not even going to humor this essay here, because if you scroll down, their argument is completely made up. It gets hit with a note saying research shows childless men experience broodiness and desire for fatherhood nearly as often as childless women, 59% versus 63%.
Wow.
And men, including non-parents, exhibit innate caregiving and protective responses to infants.
Would you look at that?
Like, this had to be said. But people on Twitter are trying to politicize, even use it to back up their desires to be
Western
misandrous.
people, to be honest.
Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. You know, all these are responding from tweets
these people are
like
just so
this
crazy.
that are just expressing their appreciation for this wholesome dynamic, and that it makes them think, you know, wow, wouldn't this be such a great thing to have in life? What a crime. Like I said, when evil encounters something good and wholesome, they're repelled. They have to destroy it. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. If you guys enjoyed, as always, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, put on your notifications. Going to be streaming.
Man, really, people are crashing out over a goddamn video game of a father-daughter relationship type, huh? You know, it's funny because there's also an indie game that just came out on the same day as Mouse, PI or so. That is basically the same thing, but it's a smaller version of it, which I'm going to be playing in the future. It's just kind of funny to see it at the end of the day. It's just kind of hilarious, though. Like, honestly. It's pretty funny. It's, you know, it just kind of like calls them out. Like, the people who are crashing out are literally the people who are just lonely. They're just lonely. They don't, you know, they want to have a relationship, but they can't have a relationship. Because, you know, they have a very nasty attitude at the end of the day. Nasty personality, so... Which is fine at the end of the day. You know, they have their AI boyfriend and AI girlfriend, right? They can just completely go to that. And even then, that'll be the end of their family tree. Because they're not going to procreate. Which is good, actually, to be honest. Because that means the world will be slowly getting cleansed or so. Because those people will be gone, while the people who do have families and everything will have their generations to move forward, and then the world will be under peace again, you know? They're miserable, so they want everyone else to be miserable. Misery enjoys company. They can try that. They can try that on me, but it's not gonna work out, to be honest. I'm like, I grew in toxicity, okay? I grew in Call of Duty lobbies. Call of Duty lobby shapes you in a way or so that none of these people on the internet will ever disturb you. Like, literally, honestly. I have such thick skin or so that whatever they say can never ever harm me. So, but yeah. Anyways, that's the end of the video. And hey man, maternal instincts and parental instincts are coming to life or so, you know? We need to arm Florida with Topo California all in its own entirety. California just needs to become a red state, at least to my knowledge or so, because I heard that the red or so is more logical to a degree, right? To a degree in sort of nature, um, but it definitely does need to be a red state once and for all, to be frankly honest, so that specific place or so can be I guess can be changed to more better future, you know. But yeah, anyways, that's the end of the video, and hopefully it happens though. Hopefully there'll be a lot more people who wake up in California and vote for the red side or so until they can manage to get the blue side under control, which probably won't be, to be honest. It's gonna take a while or so for the blues to get under control, but it is what it is. They were red a long time ago. Well, hopefully it changes back to red at least, you know, because they kind of need it. They need a wake-up call over there. Yeah, but that's the end of the video. And imagine getting mad over a goddamn video game. And peace.